Hi everyone, Michael Cavacini here. I wanted to share a great story with you. So here we go. Um, I'd never, I've had the opportunity to interview and spend time with countless music legends. I mean, two of my favorites are Melissa Manchester and Barry Manilow, both of whom always treat me like family. And recently, I decided to bring my dads with me to see and meet Melissa and Barry. And we actually met and saw them within the span of a week, which is pretty awesome. Both experiences were perfect. And here's just kind of a recap of that night when we saw and met Barry Manilow. So ever since I interviewed Barry Manilow a few years ago, his family and team have treated me with such kindness and respect. I mean, it's just been incredible. They even flew my wife and me out to Las Vegas twice to see Barry perform and meet him after the show. You can read all about that on my blog, michaelcavacini.com. And actually, you know what? I'll probably just include a link below to that specific piece so you can see what that's all about. But it's been 7 years since I've seen Barry in Philly, and my first child's arriving this month, just in a few weeks. So I knew this was probably my last concert for a very long time, and a great opportunity to share a special night with my dads. So neither of them had seen Barry before, and I knew that they were in for a real treat. So I found out by email the day before the show that we were going to meet Barry. It was not a certainty, right? I was told you'll find out the day of the show, and the day before I found out we're going to meet him. So I was very excited about that. But I went in with zero expectations and was delighted, that this is going to happen. And when I arrived at the box office to pick up our passes, I was floored because not only when I opened the envelope did they include the passes, but there were 3 tickets. I did not ask for tickets. I specifically said I bought tickets. I had seats in section 102, and they upgraded them from 102 to row 9. So not only did we move down to the floor, but we were within 10 rows of the stage. And I've been told before by Barry Manilow's team that like 10th row, like around 10th row is kind of the best spot because he's playing to the 10th row. And that's where you can kind of take in the whole show from, is being that far back, but close enough to feel, like you're right on top of the stage. So these tickets go for hundreds of dollars. So this is no small gesture on their part. And, words can't express how grateful I am for the level of kindness and generosity that they've shown me. I mean, it's really just astounding. So Dave Koz, who warmed up the crowd, was spectacular. I don't know that I've ever actually seen him because I've usually done meet and greets before the show, and when I was doing that, he's usually performing, so I've kind of missed him every time. So this is the first time I really saw him perform, and wow, he was just insane. I mean, his level of energy was just stratospheric and unrelenting. When I saw him backstage afterward, I said to him, I bet you can hold your breath longer than anyone else underwater, referencing his insane lung power. I mean, this guy can hold notes and play like no one I've ever seen. And he runs around like a rock star too. I mean, it's just frenetic energy and joy unbounded. He really is like Rod Stewart with a saxophone. It's just crazy. After Dave Koz, Barry came out in his signature dramatic fashion, and blew the roof off the Wells Fargo Center. I mean, if you've seen him before, the big light behind him. He's kind of like just this shadow with his arms out. People are flipping out. Glow sticks are waving. Fans are screaming. And he let out this melodic assault of beautiful music. I mean, as I've said before, he's a musical chemist who knows the precise mixture to drive his fans to a state of delirium. Seeing Barry Manilow live is like watching the Beatles or Elvis at the height of their fame. Barry likes to open and close shows with It's a Miracle, and that's exactly what he did in Philly. And in between countless standing ovations, he delivered hit after hit. Weekend in New England is a song that made me a fan in the first place, and he delivered it beautifully. His rendition was just as exciting as the first time I listened to it. And hearing women scream, "Right now!" after he sings "When Can I Touch You" is just as hilarious as the first time I've ever heard it. And it got a laugh out of my dads too. They thought that was wonderful. And also when the women said "right now," Barry, of course, stops playing, and he leans into the microphone and he says, "Really? Still?" That made me laugh even harder. So he really just knows how to work a crowd, tell stories throughout the evening, and just take you on a roller coaster ride of emotions. It's just a wonderful experience. I mean, his sense of humor and self-deprecation make him all the more charming. He, again, has fun with his whole heartthrob status, even at nearly 80 years old. And, whether he's unbuttoning his jacket or brushing his pant leg or, doing one of his BAMs, his iconic thrusts during a disco version of Could It Be Magic, all are signs of a master at work, because he knows that every time he does one of these little things that the women are going to react, and they always do, and it's always entertaining. He just knows how to get the crowd going and push those buttons with acute precision. The concert's highlights were Barry popping out from behind the big red curtain, that iconic big red curtain, after it closed, to sing a surprise encore of Peter Allen's Once Before I Go. And I first really became familiar with that song because Johnny Mathis covered it on I think his most recent studio album, and his version is fantastic. If you haven't heard Johnny Mathis's version of Once Before I Go, listen to it. It's spectacular. But it's really a gorgeous song. And of course, Barry's interpretation was perfectly suited for his booming voice. I hope it winds up on a new studio album that he puts out. We'll have to just wait and see. But after the show, a woman one row ahead of me leaned toward me and said, "You have a beautiful voice. I was listening to Barry and you sing the songs." And I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know I was that loud." And she said, "Oh, don't worry. You sounded great." And I was just like, wow, okay. I mean, it was pretty deafening in there. I didn't think anyone would hear me. And I didn't think I was being that loud, but I guess it was loud enough that she heard. But hey, that's what happens, right? You go to a song, you're really wrapped up in the moment and singing along and just having a good time. So I guess that's a sign of me really enjoying it. And something I should say is, before he did Once Before I Go, he sang Old Friends. And I thought, okay, he's going to go into Forever and a Day. And he didn't. So I was totally caught off guard because I hadn't looked at what he'd done previous nights before. So apparently he had done Once Before I Go in other cities too. So it was kind of nice to have that little surprise there, a really special one. So, just terrific stuff. So after I got that compliment from that woman, I guided my dads to the destination in the arena where we needed to go to meet security to go backstage. And the meet and greet after the show was lovely. The room was decorated and beautiful with white flowers, uplighting, and a step and repeat, which is emblazoned with the Manilow Music Project logo. While we waited for Barry to arrive, I spoke with two Marks. One is Mark Worrell Hawkins, a UK-based member of Barry's team, as well as Mark Hewlett, Barry's personal assistant. I had a pleasant conversation with both Marks. They're just really nice and accommodating. Then Gary, Barry's husband and manager, came in. And I was excited to see him and introduce him to my dads. And he came right up to me, shook my hand, and said, "Where's your wife?" I said, "She's at home, pregnant." He replied, "Congratulations. When's the baby due?" I said, "September 20th, but I'm sure we'll have to, he'll have the final call when it comes to that." And I told Gary, I said, I didn't expect to receive tickets when we picked up the meet and greet passes at the box office. And he said, "We had to upgrade you." And I was like, really? Like, how sweet, right, for him to say we had to upgrade you. Talk about a real mensch. What a guy. After introducing Gary to both my dads, Barry appeared. He came into the room. So just as Barry walked in, one of my dads, Kevin, recognized Andrea McArdle to his right. And for those who don't know, she's the original actress who played Annie. And apparently she's a Philadelphia native, so I guess it wasn't too surprising that she was there. And it's funny because when we were going backstage, I'd said to my dads, don't be surprised if there's another celebrity backstage, because I've seen that Melissa Manchester, Jason Alexander, and other people have gone backstage to, say hello to Barry afterwards. So Andrea McArdle was at the Philly show. So I guess it wasn't too surprising. But I'm sure Kevin didn't think he was going to be meeting two celebrities in the same room on the same night. So lucky him. But when Barry came up to us, I shook his hand, told him how great the show was, thanked him, and introduced my dads. I didn't want to, he's got to meet a lot of people. Obviously, I didn't want to try to engross him in some sort of deep conversation when he's trying to make the rounds. And, I just wanted to express my gratitude. Then we posed for a photo, which turned out beautifully, and said goodbye. So on my way out, I had that exchange I talked about earlier with Dave Koz, because I saw him on our way out and just went up to him and started chatting with him. And my dad's told him how great he was and all that. And I gave Gary a hug goodbye, thanked him, and just expressed my profound gratitude. So just like Melissa Manchester concert, or just like the Melissa Manchester concert the week before, Barry exceeded my expectations. The music was remarkable, the crowd was electric, and the meet and greet was perfect. Thank you again to Gary, Barry, Kirsten, Mark, and the entire Manilow crew for providing me and my family with a magical night we won't forget. I couldn't have asked for more, and I'm just forever grateful. It's just a great memory that I'll cherish for a very long time. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope that you like this video and share it with others, and because we need to share all these great stories about Barry Manilow and just the kind person that he is and his team. It's just really something we should all be grateful for. So please like and share this video, subscribe to my channel, and thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon.